Okay guys, welcome back for our final video for this lesson. So you just finished the video on step 1 for credit card debt, and now you're moving on to step 2, looking at credit cards. I forgot to say something in the last video. There was one more term. It's called a cash advance. So a cash advance is when you basically use your credit card at an ATM to get cash. All I will say is never do it. The reason why is because cash advances always have a higher interest rate. So when you get your credit card, it will give you this like document, and it's written in like legal language, so it's just a lot of words, and they hope nobody reads it. But you'll always notice that your APR, your interest rate for the card, will be one number, but a cash advance interest rate will be a higher number. So in other words, I think on my Chase card, my APR is 14%. But if I were to ever use it at an ATM, like let's say I took $400 out to get cash, that interest rate would be 21%. And keep in mind, one of them gets paid off first. So in other words, I just can't remember off the top of my head, but the point is, if let's say I owe $1,000 on my credit card and then I take out $400 in cash, when I apply my payments, it's going to pay off one of those principals first. So in other words, if the cash advance is paid last, that's gaining 21% on a daily basis interest. So again, the point is, just don't do cash advances. Don't use your credit card as an ATM card. Just your debit card that you'll get with your checking account. It's linked to your checking account. You'll get cash out using that. Never use your credit card. Okay, so looking for credit cards on a bank. Now, I didn't explore these sites beforehand because, again, I want you guys just to feel comfortable doing it yourselves, so I'm exploring it myself. So here's our friend Chase. And if you look right on the website, it's again, there it is, credit cards. Banks love for you to get credit cards because, again, they are a high interest rate loan. It's a higher interest rate than a car loan, higher than a mortgage, higher than a student loan. So like I said, they love when people get credit cards. And you guys will notice once you turn 18, or especially after you graduate from college, you're going to get things in the mail all the time from credit card companies saying, hey, here's a credit card for you. Open an account. Now, first rule of thumb with credit cards is never, the people who have the best credit scores and know how to use them usually only have one card. At maximum, maybe 2, but just 1 to 2 cards, that's it, do not go above. You want to know why I have so much credit card debt? Well, because I have 8 cards. Because, before the financial crisis, I was getting offers all the time, and I would just say sure. So I ended up with 8 credit cards, which allows me to spend a lot of money, and that's why it's hard to get out. So again, 1 or 2 cards only, no more. So we're going to click on Find a Credit Card. And like I said, you guys can't get one now. You have to be older. So I just want to show you kind of like some things to look for. So credit cards, again, they're trying to convince you to get one, right? And each one has its perks. So if you look up here at the Chase cards, first of all, there's 27 of them that they offer, which is a lot. We're not going to do that. But if you notice, they break it down by category. So all cards is 27. They have 20 travel cards, 6 cash back, 9 no annual fee, 5 business, airline, hotel. So what does this all mean? Well, travel cards basically means when you use your credit card, you get points that you can either use for plane tickets and other types of travel, or when you travel, they give you more points that you could cash in on. Cashback cards are exactly what it sounds, meaning when you use a cashback card, it's saying every time you spend on the card, they give you a certain percentage cash back. Don't get too excited. It's never going to be 14%. Usually it's going to be like 1.5 or 2%, maybe 3%. Like I said, they use these things to try to get you to spend. No annual fee means that when you own the card, they won't charge you a fee for owning it. There are some cards that do it, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Business cards, these are for business people, so you won't, unless you own a business, you probably wouldn't have that. Airline cards, they offer perks for certain airlines, meaning maybe Maybe they have a relationship with Continental, so whenever you use your card to get airplane tickets, they give you extra points. Hotel cards, same thing. You know, when you spend money, they give you points. You could use it towards that hotel. Rewards cards, I know that's vague, but you get my drift. They try to get you to spend money. So here's two cards right out of the gate, right? So you're always going to be presented with this information here. So this is the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. Now, it says $200 cash back. I can guarantee you that's if you spend a certain amount of money within the first few months. Meaning, if you spend $2,000 in the first 3 months, you'll get $200 cash back. Well, it sounds great, but again, think of how stupid you would be to spend $2,000 just to get $200 back. What if you can't pay that $2,000 off right away? Now it's earning interest. So don't fall for those gimmicks. Earn unlimited 1.5% on all purchases. So they're saying it's a cashback card, right? Meaning every time you spend, they'll give you 1.5% back. And no annual fee. Meaning this card you'll never pay a fee on for the year. Now if we look at the Chase Preferred Sapphire Preferred, this card, I know people who have it, and the people usually have this one, like to travel. So it says 60,000 bonus points. I can guarantee you when we look at it, it's going to be 60,000 as long as you spend a certain amount. Now, see, why do we know it's a travel card? Because it says earn 2 times on travel and dining, meaning you buy plane tickets to go travel, you'll get extra points. But notice, $95 annual fee, meaning to own this card, every year you'll have to pay a fee of $95. Now, some people will say, never get a card that pays a fee because that's just stupid. Well, I mean, it depends. Like, if you only make $35,000 a year and you're paying rent and food, yeah, you're not going to have a lot of money left over, right? So paying $95 a year for that card probably doesn't make sense for you. But if you're a lawyer and you make $150,000 a year and you go on vacations twice a year to the Caribbean, you could probably afford to pay $95 a year. Meaning, I don't want to say never take out a card where there's an annual fee. I think what you just have to do is decide, okay, does this card help me? Like, can I really use it to my benefit? And do I make plenty of money where I could not only pay it off, but I could pay the fee and it doesn't hurt me? Right? So I don't want to say never take out a card with an annual fee, but like I said, you just have to be aware of your financial situation when you do it. So what you'll click on is learn more. And by the way, guys, here's some more cards it looks like. So here with Southwest, that's an airline. That would be an example of like an airline card. Okay, but anyway, let's go to Unlimited and learn more. So we'll click on that. So what information do we want to look for? Okay, here we go. So we already know it's earning unlimited 1.5%. So in other words, no matter how many times I use the card, I will always get 1.5% cash back. Now, notice how they didn't put the APR on the front page, because why didn't they do that? Well, that's the interest rate, right? And nobody likes interest rates. So notice what it says here. 0% intro APR for 15 months from account opening on purchases. Again, meaning for 15 months, they will not charge you any interest. After that 15 months is up, your interest rate can be anywhere between 14.99% and 23.74%. So again, once the 15 months is up, you will start getting charged that interest rate compounded daily for any balance that remains unpaid. Balance meaning how much you owe on the card. There's no annual fee, and cashback rewards do not expire. Meaning, you know, if you got $30 in cash back for the month, it's not going to say, sorry, you lose it if you don't redeem it. All right. So, like I said, guys, the bank will give you horrible interest rates for your bank account. What, 0.01%, 0.02%, but they have no problem charging you ridiculous interest rates for paying them. Okay, we get it. Banks need to make money. They're not going to make money if they're giving your bank account 23% interest. But this is like the way things work. So let's go back to Chase Sapphire now. So let's click on Learn More. So remember what I was telling you about the bonus points. Here we go. 60,000 bonus points after you spend $4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months from account opening. That's a $750 toward travel when redeemed through Chase Unlimited Awards. So they're basically saying if you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months, you can get that 60,000 bonus points, which is equate to $750. So it'll pretty much buy you an airline ticket, round trip, kind of, depending on where you go. So again, they're trying to get you to spend the money, right? And the thing is, if you don't have $4,000, why would you spend $4,000 to get 60,000 points and then pay interest on the $4,000 because you can't spend it back? So again, if you got $20,000 laying around that you don't need, sure, spend the $4,000, get the $60,000 and get that free plane ticket. But again, if you don't make a lot of money, don't spend like that. Now, 2 times points on travel. So it says earn 2 times the points on travel and dining at restaurants from airfare or in hotels to fine dining. Meaning, if you go buy clothing from a store, you're only going to get 1 point. But if you spend money at travel or dining restaurants, they give you extra points. And it says get 25% more value when you redeem for airfare. So again, like that's what I was saying, guys. Chase Sapphire Preferred, a lot of people who travel a lot get that card because they can build up the points and use it for further traveling. So that card makes sense for people who have money, people who go on vacations, people who travel a lot. And to be honest, like that's pretty much the information they give you. Now there is a fine print, right? So what you usually go to pricing and terms, because this is where you get into the details, and then you'll get a page that looks like this. So again, APR 15.99% to 22, meaning maybe they'll start you off with 15.99, but maybe your credit score lowers a little bit. All right, there's the fireworks, guys. So again, happy last finance lesson just for you. And let's say you miss a payment. That means what they're saying is they'll shoot your APR up to 22%. Now, remember what I said. The cash advance, notice what the cash advance APR is. 24.99%. Meaning, if you have $1,000 on your card already, it's getting that 15.99%. But if you try to take money out using that card like an ATM, then that money will be charged 24.99% interest. So like I said, do not do cash advances. Cash advances. Now balance transfer, this is another thing they do to try, like let's say I owed $5,000 on a card and I can't pay it off, but then I got another card. So what I have the option to do is transfer the balance from one card to the second card, and I could get 0%. So balance transfers is like robbing Peter to pay Paul, meaning I don't want to be charged interest on this one card anymore. So I'll get a new card and I'll transfer the balance over so I get 0% on that for a while. I don't know. I mean, I do it, but you could see how easy it is to build up debt by doing that, because guess what? When I transfer the balance over to the new card, guess what I can do now? Spend on my other cards. So now I got a balance on 2 cards. You see why it's so like, it's like a weapon. It can really help you, but it can really hurt you if you don't use it responsibly. Annual membership fee, $95. My Chase plan fee, 1.72, meaning this is so ridiculous. Chase does this thing where, you could create a plan to help yourself pay down your credit card. Meaning, you think it's there to help you, but what they're saying is when you create that plan to help yourself, we're going to charge you 0.172% as a fee for creating that plan, which is ridiculous. This is why I hate Chase. Ugh. Anyway, now, transaction fees. So if, let's say I make one of those balance transfers, I'll be charged 0% interest, but they are going to charge me a fee to do it. So it's either going to be $5 or 5% of the amount transferred. Meaning if I transfer $900 over to that card from another credit card, they'll charge me 5% as a fee. Cash advances, they're going to charge you either $10 or 5%, and foreign transaction fees, none. So again, Chase Sapphire Preferred, why do people get it? Because when they travel with it, they don't have to pay any fees. Now, if you make a late payment, you have to pay up to $39 on top of the minimum, but then your credit score is going to drop. So don't make a late payment. If you put a payment through and for some reason it doesn't go through and gets returned, you also get charged a fee. So again, guys, I hope if anything you can take away from this, it's that use credit cards responsibly because they can get a lot of money from you if you don't. Now, before I close this lesson up, I just want to go to Bank of America. So again, click on credit cards. And, the website will be a little different. But let's go to cards for students. In other words, not high school students. Usually this is for college students. And I just want to show you these rates because they're just a little different. So here's the cards they have for students. They have a cash rewards card for students, meaning that there's no annual fee and you get 3% cash back in a category of your choice. So in other words, they're saying you could choose gasoline or online shopping or off-campus dining. Whatever one you choose, they'll give you 3% cash back on. And then 2% cash back at grocery stores and wholesale, and then unlimited 1% cash back on anything else you spend. Here's a travel rewards for students. It looks like you can earn unlimited 1.5 points for every dollar you spend on purchases everywhere. Notice how this card is designed. When handled responsibly, a credit card can help you build your credit history, which can be helpful for looking for an apartment. Yes, that's true. When you're looking for your own apartment, they're going to run a credit check. And if you have no history of that, again, they'll make one of your parents be a cosigner. So building credit also allows you to get an apartment. So let's learn more about the cash rewards for students. Okay, so here we go. So again, it tells us information on the front. It says that, wow, this card got a good rating for college students, but, again, that's just advertising. 200 online cash rewards bonus offer. So in other words, online $200 cash rewards bonus after making at least $1,000 in purchases in the first 3 months. Again, doesn't make sense, guys. It's just $200, but you spend $1,000. It doesn't make sense to spend $1,000 and get $200. Again, what we want to know is what are the interest rates and fees. So you get a 0% APR for 15 billing cycles, meaning 15 months. Applies to purchases to any balance transfers made within. So in other words, you also get the 0% if you do a balance transfer within the 60 days. So again, if I have money on a card, I have 60 days to transfer that money over to this new card, and I could get 0%. Standard APR, 13.99 and 23. Notice that's very similar to Chase. Annual fee, $0. But again, guys, you got to dig deeper, so click on View Complete List of Rates and Fees. So when you look at the complete list, notice that the APR for cash advances is 16 to 26%. And the penalty APR, meaning you miss a payment or you pay below the minimum, meaning they will rate, oh my God, this is so bad, meaning they will raise your APR interest rate to almost 30%, meaning every time you spend on that card, 30% is compounding daily. That is why it is so important to make your payments on time, all the time, always minimum or above. The minimum interest card can be $1.50. I mean, that's just saying like that's probably the lowest it will ever go. Meaning you pretty much only have like $5 on your card, right? Like if you have $200 on your card, you're obviously not paying $1.50. Transaction fees. So it looks like either temporary. Okay, so in other words, whenever you make when you're wiring money to a non-financial institution, in other words, you're trying to move money off your card to someplace else, there are fees. So it looks like it's 5%, 3%, 3%. Now notice the penalty fees. Late payment, you have to pay $40. Return payment, $29. Now the question is, why are these rates so high? Well, because it's a student card, right? The point is this card is meant for students who don't have a credit card and are trying to build their credit history. So it will vary by bank, but usually you'll have a low credit limit out of the gate. Like they might only give you, again, $1,000. But then again, the longer you have the card, they will start to raise it. Because what do they want you to do? Spend more on it, right? So, they're like, oh, well, this kid's pretty good. So instead of giving them a limit of $1,000, let's give them a limit of $5,000. Because what they're hoping is you'll spend more and more and more, up to $5,000. I'm surprised, to be honest, that they're giving a 0 APR for 15 months because a lot of student cards often only give it for like a few months, like 6 or something like that. Especially if you're a person who's rebuilding your credit. They usually don't get a lot of time for 0 APR. But yeah, that's why the interest rates are so high, because you're still high risk, right? And if you mess up, your interest rates will shoot up. So when the time comes and you are looking to get your first credit card, like I said, they will be very easy to find on the bank websites. You're going to get a ton of stuff in the mail anyway. Always remember these rules. Have at least one card, maximum of 2, no more. Never spend above 10% of your credit limit. Never ever take out cash advances. And the people who use their credit card the best to build their credit scored up, again, they only spend about 10%. They make sure they have the money saved up first, then they spend, then they pay the card off in full each month so they never get charged interest. That is the best way to build credit. That is the best way to avoid credit card debt. I know in typical fashion, after I close out this video, in 5 minutes I will remember something that I wanted to say that I didn't, but that's just the way it is. So I think you guys now have enough of a foundation to do the reading. So again, after this video is over, you're going to move on to step 3 and read chapter 2, credit cards in finessing. I'm just buying time because I'm trying to make sure I don't forget something. But it is now 3:10 in the morning. I'm tired. You guys are tired. Like I said, this is the final lesson. And then just stay tuned for Tuesday. But I promise you, you won't have anything to write on Tuesday. Okay, guys. I will talk to you soon. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Bye.